So I just want to show you what the guys are doing here. We have a downspout that goes underneath this patio. It came out and they don't even have a pop-up. They just use the 90 and they put this grate in. Organic material builds up on the inside, leaves, things like that. You can see that this 90 is pretty full, but then the grass grew over it. The grass grew over it and it couldn't daylight. So what happens? The downspouts overflow right at the foundation. So you have your gutter drains and they fill up, and when the downspouts can't take in any water, so you have a downspout right here. This gutter trough is just going to pour all this roof water. Look at all that roof. It's going to pour over the trough. You can tell that it was doing that because usually they end up bent because of all the weight when they're full of water and they're pouring over. So that's all bent and twisted up. Looks worse for wear. So this has been going on for a while, but the homeowner was getting water in his basement, brought us in to put in a roof runoff system and a little bit of French drain. Show you what the guys are doing. They're going to run a 3.5 inch, because that's all you need for that, 3.5 inch. It's going to handle it just fine. We're going to run that right to a 4-inch main. We have another downspout over there. Now this is on a real long gutter run, and that's a crazy gutter run. So we have a small run of gutter here, and that's wide in. Look at this. Look at this gutter run. Look at that. That's crazy. So we know that this downspout is maxed out. We have a 3.5 inch for that downspout line. Right here we're wide together, 2 3.5 inch. Now the thing that you want to always do, never take 2 3.5 inch lines, Y them to a 3.5 inch Y, and then go to a 4 inch. Never do that. You want to always have a 4 inch Y. You want to merge those 2 lines together in the larger diameter fitting. We jump up to a 4 inch. Then we go right to a pop-up. We have pretty good slope. Look at how far we're taking the water away from this house. Now the guys have a bunch of pea stone around this pop-up emitter. It's wrapped in fabric, and then the pop-up is not taped on. All the bulk water is going to come shooting out of this during a heavy rain, and then after the rain, what's left in that pop-up will just leach away. So how far do you have to go to get the water away from the house? I always tell people, however far you have to go to get the drop you need. You have to realize this pop-up emitter has to be below like 90% of your line. So you have to take it to where it drops off. It finally reaches a level to where the top of the pop-up is below 90% of your line. Now I know in a perfect world, that's what you want. Some lots you can't achieve it, but in a lot of lots you can. It just means you got to go further. So we went ahead and we put a sediment trap right here. Now we can jet out this downspout that runs underneath this patio, and it does need to be jetted. We wanted to have the entire system put together before we jetted it, because why make a mess in our trench? So if you run into this, guys, where your leaf blower will not clear a line and you're going to have to jet it out, some words of advice: put your system together, put one of those catch basins in. It's a great sediment trap. It's a great clean out access. Beautiful work. 2 3.5 inch lines into a 4 inch discharge. We had a lot of tree roots right here because we have this ornamental tree. It's a Rose of Sharon, and it's going to stay. So you can see all the roots. Once the guys got to the other side, all the roots, they put in the catch basin. We wanted to drill holes in the bottom of that catch basin. Do our best to try to set up the homeowner for success. This is key. Even though the system that we put in is of the highest quality and the best system that you can possibly put in for a homeowner, if you miss on the cleanup, they're not going to look at you as a quality installer. Guys that are loyal to the brand, and they use all of our quality components, they know it's all about what does it look like when you leave their property. Does it look no different than when you came to put in the system? Or does it even look better? That's what you're shooting for. How can we leave it in the shape that we found it in after we had taken the yard completely apart to get the system in? Now this is top-notch work. Top-notch work. Guys are throwing away the failed system. So never use an internal coupler on both ends like that. You never want to do that. Leaves and shingle, gravel, and debris will catch when they're coming out of the pipe. They'll catch on that internal, and then the organic material just builds up until it just plugs the pipe solid. We see it all the time. If you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up. It supports the channel. If you have any questions regarding this installation, leave them in the comments section. I'm your host, Robert Sherwood, and until the next video.